Well, Blue Dart has posted a rather disappointing quarter in terms of the second quarter numbers. The revenues have grown on a low base, but margins, that's where the disappointment is. To discuss this and more, we have Mr. Aneel Gambhir, the CFO of the company, who joins us on the show. Good afternoon, Mr. Gambhir. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, let's get straight to the margins. They have halved, actually. What do you attribute this to? And are you able to pass on those hikes in petrol prices?
In the first place, let me tell you that the question which you talk about the margin, if you recall, we have been talking about expansion in our network and also our reach, our aggressive expansion plan, wherein we have invested very aggressively into reaching to pan-India locations. So if you have been following our press releases, we have mentioned already that from about 6,500 to about 17,500 locations or the pin codes which we are trying to cover in this year. So, and by year end it will be about 19,100 pin codes, wherein we would be covering pan-India and reaching every Indian household. So taking that into account, these investments have been playing, having a short-term impact on our operating costs. That's where you see impact of that in current quarter's profitability.
Okay, if you could just explain what is affecting the company, because from a 5-year average revenue growth of 12% on your top line, the last 2 years the growth has slowed down to just 4-5%. When do you expect you will be able to return back to a double-digit growth?
As you can see that in the past, economy has not been doing well, and you know that there have been two big initiatives taken by government which had an impact on the economy. But with this, both of them now settling down. Demon is already settled down, and GST is also almost settled down. We see that Indian economy to be on a growth trajectory, and as a result we are also seeing those reflecting in our numbers. So you see the current quarter is about 13.5% and half year is about 12% growth on top line. So we expect with the economy further itching up and GST benefit coming in, we expect that this healthy double-digit growth to continue in times to come.
Okay, margins have come down though, from over 10-11% in the last year. Now it's down to around 5%. Give us some guidance. What's the trajectory going ahead?
See, as you rightly mentioned that we have been investing very heavily for last 2 quarters, and that's what is impacting our bottom line. But in times to come, with the volume growth and coming to double digit and also economy growing, we expect coming quarters to be much better quarters, and operating leverages will start playing, and we will have better capacity utilization which we have built in so far. So that could result in better margin for us in times to come.
Okay, so double-digit margins are possible this year itself?
This year could be a challenge, looking at the overall impact when you analyze it, could be a challenge to get into double digit.
Let's focus on the volume growth for both B2B as well as B2C businesses. What's it likely to be?
So both B2B and B2C have been seeing very healthy volume growth and high double-digit volume growth. So if you talk about B2B, B2B has grown much higher than what we have grown in the previous quarter, and also very high double-digit growth on volumes in B2C.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Mr. Gambhir, for joining us and giving us all those details. All the best going ahead as well. Well, keep your eye out on some of these stocks in the broader markets as well that are moving, and even the frontliners. Ultratech Cement, now it's up close to around 6%. Wow, just take a look at that intraday chart out there. Ultratech Cement's moving higher. Couple of factors playing out there. The stock was trading at a 52-week low. That's one factor. The second factor was there was a lot of shorting out there. And now we're getting to Diwali week. Normally in Diwali week, we see a price increase. I understand that there have been numerous meetings all across the country, particularly in the South India, where there has been a lot of pain. And there is talk that, yes, price increases could come about. We'll get you the latest on that front as well, and whether or not that price increase can be absorbed. But that stock is moving higher. It's up more than 6% as we speak, Rima.
Okay, and Ingersoll Rand numbers up for you on your screen. It's just a 2% increase in the company's profitability, but revenues have gone up by close to about 10% That stock is gained close to about 3% as we speak. So the top line growth is looking smart, but the revenue growth has been quite muted at just close to about 2%. Let's just take a look at the markets and try and find out a couple of other stocks that are moving quite well in trade. For the benchmark indices and the mid caps, it's moving in step with a gain of close to about 1.8%. DB Realty is moving higher as well. So that's a stock which now currently is up close to about 16 to 17%. So keep your eye out on that.